Okay, in order to lose body fat, okay, body fat, if you got to lose 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds of body fat, in order to do that, you have to get your body to eat itself. Yes, you have to be in a caloric deficit based on what your body needs. And to keep this very simple is to look at what you need to eat on a day-to-day basis to maintain your current weight. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. Let's take a 200-pound individual and they need to lose 30 pounds. They want to lose 30 pounds and get down to 170. In order to do that, you have to be, for that person to maintain, let's say it's 2,500 calories they need per day to maintain the 200-pound. You have to be in a caloric deficit of, let's say, 500. You could start off at 250 calories per day, but 500 calories to 700 calories. 500 calories, to me, is very healthy, especially when you have the macronutrients, meaning protein, fats, and carbs, figured out. What I mean by figured out, where protein is the first thing that goes in your mouth. At each meal, fat combined, and then your carbs. I'm not talking about eliminating anything out of your life, any foods. It's just lowering the caloric intake down. If you eat meat, great, up your meat content. If you can't eat that, there's always that supplement. Protein shakes, protein powders are fantastic. I still list them as food because they are food. At this point, there's so many great protein powders out there that, substituting them, they are 100% protein when it comes to, meeting your day-to-day needs for protein intake. But putting yourself in a scenario, anybody, making sure that you are in a 500 calorie deficit, making sure that a good portion, okay, I'm always a believer of 1 gram per pound of body weight that you want to weigh. So if you weigh 200 pounds and you want to drop down to 170, eat 170 grams of protein minimum per day, every day, to maintain the muscle you have, because it's not just for muscle, it's for skin, hair, nails, repair. Anytime your immune system can take up a big chunk of protein of those amino acids that are broken down. So I really want to focus here for a moment and write this down. You will never lose any body fat or any weight and keep it off unless you are in a caloric deficit. If you can control a big portion of what goes in your mouth, you are 80% of the way there, because workouts just come along for the ride. We can't all say we love working out. No one loves going every day, zone 2, zone 3. There's other things to do as far as workouts go. Lifting weights is a big key, at least 2 to 3 times a week there to maintain muscle while you are in a deficit. I run into clients, I have clients that are so afraid of being in a deficit in some cases, and not realizing that your body needs to eat itself in order to lose weight. That's how you lose weight, especially when it comes to body fat. Your body will pull from that reserve. It may not be right away, but once you go 500 calories less a day for, let's say, the first week, the second week, your body starts realizing that it needs to pull from another source, especially if you are incorporating workouts in there. Let's say you're getting to 10,000 steps a day and you're getting yourself to a point where you're resistance training 3 times a week, varying it up, hitting all body parts, maybe incorporating a 4th day, and you're still in a deficit. Your body will pull from those reserves. You may need to up your protein intake. You may need to up your caloric intake and still be in a 500 calorie deficit. You see where I'm going with this? as you lose weight, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you're burning a lot of calories when you're working out, when you're lifting weights. You don't burn a lot of calories lifting weights, but you burn enough to actually need to bring more calories in. So to keep this as simple as possible, having that foundation of where you are letting your body utilize itself for the energy source to burn that extra 500 calories a day, that's 1 pound of possible body fat to burn off per week. That's 500 calories a day, 3,500 calories a week. 1 pound of body fat equals 3,500 calories. That's a lot of calories to burn just by lowering your caloric intake. So keep this in mind, not just in mind. Get it done. Seriously, focus on that first. Focus on the foundation of restoring your metabolism in a way to where you have protein, fats, and carbs figured out, which are your macros, where you are in a caloric deficit, and, stepping into this in a way that is long-term. And notice that I'm not telling you to eliminate foods. And that is the other big problem, is the elimination of everything out of your life initially. It can't last. That's a diet. Diets restrict you, which is fine in some cases. It's not. I always say utilize a diet as a tool. Use a keto diet as a tool. Use intermittent fasting as a tool. Okay, not as the end of all be all. To where you're gonna. It's not something you're going to maintain. All right, you are going to eat food every day. That's real. Okay, but you're not going to be on a keto diet for the rest of your life. That's not something you're going to do. And I'm not talking about being on something for the rest of your life, but taking the caloric deficit as the biggest stepping stone of like, hey, I need to eat less calories, not by a lot, not limiting yourself to down to way low calories, but making sure your protein's in there, and you're incorporating it into that active lifestyle. So hope all this makes sense. I am taking on 5 new clients, 5 new men and women to lose. If you need to lose 10 pounds plus, and you are in a active lifestyle with your family, whatever, and you just can't figure it out and you feel you need a coach, again, DM me, direct message me here in this video, in the comments, and say need, and I will reach out to you and we can have a one-on-one, and we'll go from there. See if we're fit. Later.